Hi, I'm Tracy.
And I'm Scott.
And we're back home in Georgia now and thought we would do a wrap up from all the videos that we made while we were in Quito and Galapagos with Celebrity. We thought we would start out with what's the difference between normal cruising and an expedition cruise. So the first factor,
It costs a lot more.
a whole lot more. We usually get balconies on a normal cruise, but I think it's like 3 times?
Probably close to it. Yes.
3 times more to go on an expedition cruise.
But you get a lot of things included.
So number 1 would be a suite.
You get a suite, and it's a big suite.
Yes, it's a beautiful suite. Also, the excursions are included. So there are many days where you have a choice of 3 excursions. Some days you only have a choice of 2.
Yes, but those are spread out over the whole day, so you can do all 3. It's not like you only have a choice to do 1 and miss out on 2.
So speaking about excursions, the thing is sometimes when you're getting off of a normal cruise ship and you realize you've forgotten something, instead of having to run all the way up to deck 17 and back to your room to grab what you've forgotten, you're on a small ship. And it takes you 2 minutes to get back up to your room, grab what you need, and get back down there to get onto the tender to go on to the excursion. So that was really nice to be on such a small ship.
Yeah, there was only 91, right? 91 people. Only holds 100 at the most.
Right. Well, the Flora, which is what we went on. So it holds 100 people, and yes, there were 91 people and 84?
I think, yes.
84 crew.
One of the other things we really didn't expect was having to change our clothes 2 to 3 times a day. You're going from walking in the morning till you come back, you're all covered with dust or who knows what from the island. So then you go take a shower. And then in the afternoon, you can go snorkeling. Then you come back, take a shower. Then you go for another hike in the afternoon. Then you come back, take a shower to get ready to go to dinner.
So you need to be prepared every day with what you have going on throughout the day so that you can get in, get showered, get changed, and get back out onto the next excursion. So your last excursion usually gets you back onto the ship around 6 o'clock. And at 7:15, there's an excursion briefing for the following day. So you are lucky to have an hour to get upstairs, get yourself showered, and get yourself dressed for dinner, because back down to the Discovery Lounge?
Discovery Lounge, yes.
Then you're having the excursion briefing and you're going straight to dinner following that.
One thing nice about this cruise is there are no dress-up nights. You don't have to wear a suit and tie. You don't have to have a dress on. But most people wear a button-down shirt or a polo shirt just to look nice. But you're rushing around so much after you're done, trying to get ready, you really don't have time to get all spiffy.
Yeah, so women out there, you can bring dresses that are easy to throw on, but just know you don't have your normal time to get ready, and you don't need to worry about that. While we were preparing to go onto this cruise, we were wondering about a few things. We watched a lot of videos to try to be as prepared as possible. So a few things that we wondered about that we found the answers to, we thought we'd let you know what they are. So number 1, sandals for wet landings. They tell you to bring sandals for wet landings, but then as soon as you're there, they tell you you can get off of the tender with just your bare feet. So we had really worried and made sure that we had specific sandals that could get wet, and then we thought we might be able to hike in them, but we really didn't. It turned out that we didn't need those sandals at all. The wet landings are on sand, and you can just jump off the tender with your bare feet, go over, dry off your feet in the sand, and then put on your hiking shoes.
Just remember to take some towels with you to lay on the beach, because you'll be laying on bird poop and seal poop and everything else, and then you have to dry your feet off and put your shoes on. The one thing about the hiking shoes is I would buy really good hiking shoes, because you're kicking rocks, kicking sharp lava rock, and you could probably really get hurt if you're just wearing tennis shoes or Nikes or something. I would buy some really good hiking boots. Shoes, not boots, shoes.
So I didn't do that. I took tennis shoes.
And yours wore out.
They did. They wore out quickly. They've got holes in them from the lava rock. And The bottoms of them were slippery because you have to think about it. You have sand on top of rock. So if you are headed downhill or uphill and you hit a place where there's sand on top of rock, you slip. So mine just weren't grippy enough. The tennis shoes weren't grippy enough.
Yes.
His hiking shoes were hiking boots.
No, they were shoes, hiking shoes. I can get them if you want to send a picture.
They were much better. The other thing that we wondered about was just how strenuous was this going to be? We definitely weren't the oldest people on the ship, but we definitely weren't the youngest either. And we tried to do, well, we did do everything.
We skipped one. We went to go shopping that one day. Didn't go.
Yeah, on Friday. We skipped the walk up to Darwin's statue.
Darwin's statue, yes.
But every other long hike or fitness hike, we did it. So with that in mind, I'm telling you that we never had less than 10,000 steps a day, the entire cruise, not once.
And probably, 4 out of all the hikes we went on, they weren't easy. You weren't walking on level ground. You were climbing, one was 150 steps, one was 300 some steps, and one of them, they called a fitness walk, and I mean, it was nonstop. They just basically stopped and said, oh, look, take a picture and keep moving for, an hour and a half, 2 hours?
Yes.
It just move.
There were a couple that they called fitness walks, and they did not slow down. For any of the people who were not handling it well, they still did not slow down.
And one thing was, we went in the dry season and it wasn't hot. Talking to the naturalists, they said that in the wet season, it's 85 degrees with 85% humidity. I can see where some of those hike fitness walks are very challenging.
And we probably wouldn't have made it.
No, I mean, it'd be tough.
The one on top of Bartholomew, that we went all the way up to the top where the lighthouse was, that was tough.
Yes.
And it was on stairs and a boardwalk, but it was still really tough. Take them seriously, because they mean it when they say fitness hike.
Yes,
what we would do differently if we were to do this cruise again. So the first thing that we would do differently is we would have eaten under the stars at the Ocean Bar every afternoon for lunch and every evening for dinner.
Yes, the dining room, when we were there, I said it, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It sounds like a high school cafeteria. There's just, you hear people talking from 5 tables away because there's nothing to absorb the sound. It is really loud. Right.
And of course, there's not all window seats. So everybody wanted to be by the window, which you guys all know that on a cruise. Well, you're out in the open and you can see all around you when you're up at the Ocean Bar. Granted, it's windy because you're sailing at that point. They're sailing to the next island. But it's still so much nicer.
And they have blankets, and they'll move tables to get you out of the direct wind so you're not freezing. But we were up there, 4 nights, I guess? 5 nights even? I don't know. There was one night it was a little chilly. The rest of them were okay.
Right. So do that immediately. Check out the difference between the main dining room and the Ocean Bar.
And you have to reserve the table.
Yeah, at Ocean Bar you have to reserve the table. And just see for sure which way you like it.
And one of our favorite things was they're cooking right there. I mean, it is 5 feet away. They're cooking your steak or dim tuna or whatever you're eating is getting cooked right there.
Right. Well, so I think that if you've watched all of our videos, you can tell we really enjoyed it. So the other thing that we would do differently is, was it on Friday that we went to it was Friday. So Friday we went to, and keep in mind we're on the inner loop.
Yes.
So on Friday, we went to the Galapagos Science Center, and it probably took about an hour and a half of the time that we had in town to get onto the bus, drive up there, and then it was a decent walk from the bus to the Science Center. To go through the Science Center and then come back out, walk down, get the bus, and then come back to the port area probably took about an hour and a half. And for us, we really didn't care for it. We would have preferred to spend the time in town.
The reason we didn't prefer it was when you're on the tenders and you're on the boat, the naturalists go over so much stuff and tell you everything about the islands. And that's basically what that science center is.
So you have been engrossed in that all week. And I would have just preferred to have found a place and had a cup of local coffee.
Maybe got something to eat.
Done a little more shopping.
Yes.
Because we really didn't have time for shopping. So that's just what we would do if we were to do this again. We would not have taken the time to go to the Galapagos Science Center. And then the last thing we wanted to say is we had done a 10-day trip with Celebrity where we went and spent 2 nights in Quito prior to the cruise, and then 1 night in Quito after the cruise.
Yes. And it was very nice because once you get your luggage and get through customs at the airport, they take care of everything. You hand your luggage over, they put it on the bus, they take you on a bus, everything is handled by them. You don't have to worry about anything. Getting to Baltra to fly, getting back to Baltra, everything's handled by them. It was very nice. You paid a little more, but not worrying about anything was very nice.
All they included, portions of it. That included all your food. That included a tour of Quito. On Saturday was a tour of Quito.
2 meals in Quito.
Breakfast every morning at the JW Marriott. So anyway, we did that. The thing that we wanted to say that we would do differently if we went back to Quito was that we would take something for altitude sickness. So if you've seen our previous video, you saw us talk about the fact that I had a headache the entire time we were in Quito.
I had trouble breathing.
Quito's over 9,000
Yeah,
feet.
say over 9,000 feet.
9,300 and something. So anyway,
and to me it made it worse too that when you go on your tours in Quito, you're at the top of the mountain, then they take you down to the bottom to go to the equator, not down to the bottom, but lower in the equator, and then they take you back up, and you can really feel it. I could anyway.
Well, and I just had a headache the whole time, so I tried to enjoy it, but it was really hard because my head was pounding. So that's just a piece of advice and something that we would do. Anytime now we ever go anywhere that's high altitude, we'll know that we need to do something prior to going.
True.
So I think that's everything we learned. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment and we'll be sure to answer whatever questions you have.
We watched so many videos and there were still things we'd learned while we were there, even though we thought we'd learned everything.
Yeah, as we've learned so much along the way as we have booked and planned and purchased things and prepared for this cruise. So hopefully that does answer some of your questions though.
I think that's it.
Thanks for watching.
Please subscribe.